This week we're going to talk about 3 submissions that chain off of each other really well. And they are armbar, omoplata, and triangle. So in the past we have done Kimura, guillotine, and bump sweep, KGB. And that's one group of moves that work well together. And AOT, armbar, omoplata, triangle is sort of the other little trifecta that I want you guys to get good at. For the armbar setup, I'm going to take the same side hand, thumbs down grip on his wrist. C grip on his wrist. And this one's going to come across to his tricep. It does help to lift your hips to bump this across to where I want it, which is over my bicep. Sometimes we'll do an arm drag and it goes under our armpit. For the armbar setup, I actually want to interlock our arms like this. So I do need his arm to go over my bicep. This is how you move somebody's hand when it's like pretty well planted. There's a little bump, right? And that's really more the speed. You'll see it. It's sort of a quick little bump like that. Now I hold on to the tricep for the rest of the move. So every other place I tell you to put your hand, I'm talking about this hand. Step 2, I'm going to hold the opposite shoulder. So I come in here, right across his face. And I reach for the shoulder blade. I put my finger pads down on his shoulder blade. And that's the second thing that keeps this arm trapped. The first one is holding the tricep. 2, and the last one is putting my foot on his hip and closing my knee. 3. So it should be hard for Matt to just pull his arm out now. Can you just pull your arm out? No, because this holds him down where this blocks his tricep, and this is also holding his tricep. And now I'm going to move the rest of my body. I'm turning 90 degrees without turning on my side. I stay flat on my back, but this arm kicks up into the armpit and then clamps right here. Clamp. That also makes it hard for him to pull his arm out. The other one should be able to come right around his head. And now I'll hold his wrist, and I can lift my hips and catch the armbar right here. One more time. Thumbs down, C grip on the same side wrist. Reach across for the tricep. Bump to bring this over my bicep to the other side. 2 things, 3 things holding his arm in place. Phase 2, I'm going to bring this arm up into his armpit to knock him forward essentially while I move out of the way. But I stay flat on my back so that I can bring this leg over the head. Doesn't take a lot of flexibility to do it if you do that. I'll tell you, there is something that people do mistakenly, and that is this. I couldn't put my foot in front of his face right now if I tried. So one is very difficult and the other is easy. So make sure you stay flat on your back if you want it to stay easy. 1, 2, 3 things trapping the arm. Now phase 2, I turn, kick into the armpit, and stay flat on my back. I still have 2 shoulder blades on the ground, so this comes around real easy. And now hold on to his wrist here. I'll lift my hips to finish the arm. I want to talk about hitting an omoplata just from closed guard. The first thing I'm going to do is get a grip on her cross sleeve. So I like a pistol grip. Pistol grip is just pick up some material and then hold it like the handle of a pistol. Grab this, and to reach my hand as deep as I can here, I'm going to open my legs, push on her shoulder with my foot. So I'm actually going to push her opposite shoulder, and then my hips are going to come up and crash down through her arm. From here I can sit up and I can finish what is essentially a Kimura using my legs. So I'm going to get my grip. I'm going to reach deep, holding nothing. My foot goes essentially on her shoulder, and it's helping me turn. I have her arm here. This helps me turn her shoulder girdle so that we're facing the right way. And now my hips, I want my hips like an alligator coming out of the water to get its prey. That's me. My hips should come up and over her shoulder. This puts her on the ground. And now I'm going to drape my arm over her belt, right across her belt on the ground. And from here, I want my feet to point the opposite direction of her nose. Her nose is going that way. My feet are going this way. And trust me, she won't be facing this way. This forces her to look away from me. The finish on this, and it's perfect because I do know I have a flexible partner, the finish on this is to bring my knee to the floor. And it's a seesaw from my hip to my knee on the floor. So, and the weight of my leg should be on her arm because I want to keep her down. So my leg is on her arm, and I'm going from my hip toward my knee. This is way further than most people, but she is very flexible. I'm getting a grip, cross grip. So not the same side hand. Cross grip, because the same side hand's job is to shoot in. I shoot deep. I turn the shoulder girdle here. My hips come up to crash through, and I'll sit up. Straighten my arm over. And again, always keeping this across this, like wrapped, basically wrapped around my leg. Now I need to get my feet facing the right way. And from here, I rock forward. And we'll get our tap right there. If I've just sat up with an omoplata, just sat up and I had a nice straight dead leg and I got his shoulder to the floor, but he's on his knees, he has a better chance of escaping. If I want to take away any chance of escape for my opponent here, what I want to do is I want to get him flat. Some people, when you rock up, he'll go belly down, and that's what I mean by flat. But sometimes they'll be up like this, and that's actually better for him than me. But what I can do once we get to this position is I can just lean on his arm. So, you know, Matt, can you straighten your arm? No, it's like trapped under me. So now I can put my hand on the ground, and I can use that to scoot away from him. That's the space I can pull him over into. This is what I mean when I say, you know, belly down. Like the guy has totally got no foundation under him anymore at all. It'll be very easy from here just to rock up and get my finish. But you could do it with your grips too. You could just shuffle away and pull your person over. I'm not even just walking away from that. I'm sort of walking in a circle around his shoulder, which is the point on the ground. That way, we know that point doesn't have to move. It's not like I have to drag his point of base. He might be heavy here. Instead, I move me in a circle around it. And when there's space, I got to pull him over into that space. And then he's belly down. I have a way higher percentage of finishing at that point. For triangle from closed guard, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my grips. My grips will be 2 thumbs down C grips on her wrists here. And I'm going to pass one hand up and one hand down. My goal is to put one of her hands basically against her belly and the other on my cross shoulder. I'm trying to drag it across my body. At the same time, I'm going to open my legs and reclose them over her shoulder, over one of her shoulders. And you'll see which one. It's the one that I've basically exposed. One of the arms, there's no way I get over the shoulder because there's an arm there, of course. But the one that I tuck, I'm able to just bring it right on top of her shoulder. And I just recross my legs. This next moment, this other type of guard where I have only her head and one arm in, some people call diamond position or triangle setup position, because I am very close to the triangle. There's just a few things I'm going to need to do next. I'm going to go to diamond, and then I'm going to bring the arm across and staple it to my leg. I have a palm down grip. Staple this to my leg. Hold the head, foot on the hip. So I've done something here, here, and here. Now, I'd like to back away from her and get her off of her heels. She's sitting on her heels, which is a good position for her to mount and escape. So I don't want that to happen. I want her to be almost falling over when I go for this move. So it's a little easier to hold onto my leg. So what I'm going to do is bring my leg across the back of her neck and hold my shin, and then shoulder walk backwards until she's almost falling forward, and that's when I can finish. A lot of people know that this is the finish of the triangle, me crossing my legs like this, so they go for it way before they should. It is the last step. So after I'm here, now I can cross, and then when I squeeze here, I'm closing the carotids with my leg and her own arm. So first, jump to diamond. Then we have our to-do list. 1, 2, 3. And this is my position. You can back up holding the head, or you can back up holding your leg. I like to get my leg kind of earlier just because it is such a nice grip. When you switch it, don't just turn your leg if you can help it, because I just created a big space here, and that won't be choky. I want to put my hamstring, so I bring my heel to the ceiling kind of, and I want to put my hamstring against the side of her neck. Feel the difference? Yeah, the big difference. Like if I just turn it, there's a giant space, but if I can put my hamstring against the carotid, now this is real good to back away from. And I'm just using my foot on her hip to back myself up. Back up, back up, back up. Shoulder blade, left, right, and then I cross. And where does my leg go? Do I put it over her back or what? It goes right in the alley beside her. I want to stomp. Ryan Hall says stomp and curl. Bring my heel to the floor. And now the lateral squeeze of my legs, knees come together, and I pull the head down, and we should get the tap there. I want to give you the why on the head control. So I told you it's part of our to-do list after I jump diamond, is that I'll control the hand, head, and then this. If I don't have a good control on the head, including my shin or just hand on her head, if I forget this one, and she sits up, full upright, triangle's over.
Okay.
Right? So it almost doesn't matter which stage we're in. I could be backing up, and she sits up, but the triangle's over. I mean, I need to break her posture. Keeping her head down, again, either by holding her head or holding my shin, is vital, because one of the, I wouldn't even call it an escape, but one of the ways that somebody could mess up your triangle because you missed a step is if you don't control the head and they just do this, or even this, and they get up. Okay, and then they'll pass your guard probably pretty quickly because you're out of position at that point. When I do the triangle under someone who's bigger, so I'm gonna put this in, I'm gonna jump this. I've got diamond. I'm gonna pass this hand, hold this head and foot on his hip. Now, if he takes his hand and reaches across my body, his free hand reaches across my body and adds a bunch of weight, oh, he's gonna smash me, and I'm gonna hate life. That's real bad, and that's an escape for the guy getting triangled. If I do all the same stuff, 1, 2, 3, but I back away from him, that he's like falling over. He can't get above me. He can't drive his weight in because he's basically falling onto me. Did you feel that when I moved away from you?
Oh,
you came off your haunches, you start to fall?
Yeah.
There's a lot of 90 degrees that are happening during the triangle. I never want to try to finish a triangle when there's less than 90 degrees at my hips. So I don't want to try to finish a triangle here. It's just too easy for him to smash. He's going to smash through. It's past my leg. There's a certain amount of keep him off me, keep him away from me that I have to do. So never with my knees, with my hips, less than 90 will I try and do a triangle. You have to get 90 in your hips. So now I have 90 in my hips. That's stronger for me to keep him away. But the other 90s I want are his base. If his butt's on his heels, I need a bigger angle here. I want 90 here. I want to back away so much that we get that 90, that I pull him off his haunches. Yeah. Now there's no way he can even get his weight above me. So be an easy finish because he's so off base. So he went from a good solid base to where he had to put his weight on me or on his hands to catch himself. So make sure you back away enough that the person goes like that. And that's your, you'll either feel their weight fall onto you or you'll hear that. That's how you know you backed away enough. When you back away from your person, there's all kinds of ways that you could do it that would be less efficient than simply shoulder walking. And shoulder walking is sort of a skill unto itself. To shoulder walk, I only go left shoulder, right shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder, while pushing. So I need a pushing force. One of my legs is busy. I have a pushing force, the foot on the hip, and then I just need to push off it and then go. I'm just rocking. Shoulder walking is not, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to do all that John Travolta stuff. I really only need a pushing force and to rock left, right, left, right. I'm otherwise like pretty stiff, pretty immobile. The way I'm going to do it is I'll have a pushing force, and that's this on her hip. So I'm actually pushing off them too, which is great. And then I'm really just going like this. I'm not shrimping because that puts me like on my side, and that's weird, and it's impossible to finish. Okay, so I'm not doing anything else. I'm just rocking left, right, left, right, left, right until she's like falling. She had to put that hand down, and then I can put everything together.